work quietly and follow along. At any point, click the pause button to catch up or take a break. Okay, now we're going to be making a collage art paintbrush. And you got a couple choices with this one, artist, so make sure to pay attention. Here I have a tan piece of paper, 9 by 12 cut in half, and same thing, black cut in quarters, and a little bit of gray. We're going to first assemble the hairs of our paintbrush and the metal part. So this is going to be the wood part of your handle, and what we're going to do is with a glue stick on this side, your right side, if you have your paper going the long way across your tummy, we're going to go back and forth with some glue just on the end here for like the first little bit. Okay. Then with your black paper, it's about the same size, you're going to lay it over the glue, give it a little massage so that way it's nice and firm, so it just overlaps a little bit. Okay. Making sure all your glue is covered. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add the metal part of our paintbrush, and I'm going to begin by getting some glue on that. Whoop. Now the metal part of your paintbrush is just going to go over those areas that you just put. So a little bit over the black, a little bit over the brown. Try to get this as straight as you possibly can and give it a little bit of massage. This is going to be our paintbrush. Cover up your glue stick. Now we're going to work towards the handle. I'm going to move my paper towards the top so you can see just the gray and the brown. With your pencil, we're going to draw the shape of our paintbrush. I find it helps me if I put a dot in the middle of the bottom of the page. That's a goal where I want my pencil to end up as I'm drawing. Okay, so my pencil's going to come down a little bit on the right side. It's going to make a nice curve in, and it's going to slowly curve out and down, connecting to that dot. Same with the left side. It's going to curve in and then out and down, connecting to that dot down there. Don't worry about it being perfect. These edges up here can be nice and round. We can always adjust. Okay, you can always adjust your paintbrush handle if you need to, but again, don't worry about it being perfect. I might make this one a little skinnier. That's just an example of an adjustment. There we go. Now we're going to cut out our paintbrush on those pencil lines. Okay, there is my paintbrush. You can put your scraps aside. Now we're going to add some details to our paintbrush to make it look a little more real. Let's talk about the texture of our handle. It's actually wood. So to make it look more like wood, we're going to take a brown crayon and we're going to add that wood grain. I'm just adding some streaks of wood. These are kind of short and I pick them up some long, up and down the brush handle, starting from the top by the hairs. Some short, remember, some long, coming down, kind of flowing with the shape of the handle. Okay. Next, what we can do is we can take our black crayon and we're going to put a big black dot. This is like the hole of the paintbrush. Right like that. You can also add some black streaks, just really light if you want to do that as well. I like to put my streaks more towards the outside so it stands out. Okay. Now the last step we're going to do is you can add some tan in areas. I just like to add by coloring in between my lines. Now, why are we doing this? Our handles have all different shades of brown because they're wood. It makes it look more awesome. Let's go back to our black crayon now, and we're gonna work on our metal part to make it look more real. I'm gonna turn my paintbrush on its side so it's a little easier to see, and I'm going to draw a big black line on each side. Okay. That just makes this pop more and be more 3D-like. Now, on our metal, we have 3 or 4 dots, whatever you'd like to add. This is for where we attach it using screws. And then I'm gonna just draw some nice light lines to show that that metal bends in that area. Okay, awesome job. The last thing I like to do is just with my black crayon or a gray crayon, really gently go over that area, giving it a nice like little rusty metal look to it, little texture. Okay, let's move up to our paintbrush hairs. You can use a tan or a white. Doesn't really matter, both will kind of work good for this. I'm gonna start with a tan. And what we're gonna do is from the metal of our paintbrush, we're gonna draw lines going away and towards the tip of our hairs. And they can be all different lengths, sizes. This is gonna make our hair and our paintbrush look more real. That is the tan. So I got a pretty good shade in there. I'm going to do the white next. Awesome, there is our paintbrush. The next part is we're gonna actually make this and cut it apart like fringy hair on a paintbrush. So with my scissors, I'm gonna go from the in, top, down, and I'm gonna have my scissors go all the way down to the metal point of our paintbrush. You don't have to do that every time. That gives a good variety. Now you can make your hairs really thin, you can make them really fat. I'm keeping mine pretty even overall. There are the hairs on our paintbrush. Now the last part of this is you get to design your own paint splat that our paintbrush is going to be dipping into. And your paint splat can be any shape because paint moves and goes into different forms as you paint with it and scoop it. So I'm going to start with a big paint splat with some curved edges. This is just 6 by 6 inch regular cardstock paper. And for this, lots of options, boys and girls. You can use crayons and markers to make it multicolor. That's what I'm gonna do with mine. You can just do one color, you can do designs. So why don't you color your paint splat and cut it out. Here is my paint splat, and now what I'm going to do is you can take it and you can weave it in between some of your paintbrush hairs. Weaving means we go up, over, and under different pieces of fabric, or in this case, paper. You can adjust them as you need. Maybe you want lots of hairs. I'm gonna keep mine just like that. And next what we're going to do is take your glue stick and we're going to glue it in place. So I'm gonna glue on the right where these hairs are. Glue it down so it's got some on the top. These. Okay. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to get the ones on the back. Okay, and there is our giant collage paintbrushes with your own touch of color and texture. Thanks for joining me, artists. Have a good one.